Good afternoon to one and all. Okay, so it doesn't feel like the conference is coming to an end. I'm sure most of you have the same feeling that, this shouldn't end here. And whatever experiences that we had over 3 days should continue. But yes, this is not the end, I would say. And this is the beginning for almost every one of us, because what we acquired over these 3 days were very thought-provoking and deep understanding of a lot of things around the digital world, and how do we and how the youth voices are important, not just as consumers. And you have heard this very often now, that you need to contribute, and youth voices should be there in the forefront. So I'm sure there are a lot of learnings from each plenary session that we had, through the different presentations which the researchers made, any informal conversations that you had with each other. Yeah, and this is a very beautiful uh, combination of NSS students, My Bharat portal, volunteers, researchers, national, international. A very good forum to have that conversations over dinner, over cultural program that we had, through the Mumbai visit that we made. A lot of connections we have built. I am hoping that you continue to build this connection, be in touch with each other, especially the NSS young volunteers. They're very fresh, they are in first year, second year. I'm sure this has been a very life-changing experience for you, to listen to how others are, putting out their ideas, what is the work that they are doing, where have they come from, different universities. So there is so much I'm sure you have learned. I will also invite some of you to share your experiences, so be please ready for that. Make some thoughts in your mind कि आपने क्या सीखा है over 3 days, okay? So with this, let us start formally the valedictory session, and we have Professor Sunil Santa with us. And I'm very glad and happy that on behalf of our Vice Chancellor and on behalf of our officiating Registrar, sir, and the Dean Academic Affairs he is representing. So I officially invite you, sir. Please come on the dais. Podium पे कुछ नहीं है. Mic is not there. It's okay. Hello. So let me also introduce sir to you. Professor Sunil Santa is the chairperson, Center for Livelihoods, and Social Innovation, School of Social Work, and Dean Academic Affairs, Office of Vice Chancellor. He is a distinguished academic and social work educator with over a decade of experience at TIS, I think more than that. His research primarily focuses on climate change, adaptation, sustainable livelihood, social innovation, and the sociology of knowledge. I think he must have many more areas now. He has contributed significantly to the field through his action research and reflective practice methodologies, aiming to strengthen climate action and promote transformative social innovations. So that is his forte. His many contributions include developing the adaptive innovative model, a context-specific framework designed to craft people-centered adaptation strategies. He is an IITian, IIT Madras, and he's written a lot of books, out of which his work on climate change and adaptive innovation, a model for social work practice, is published by Rutledge. And the climate change, small-scale fisheries and blue justice, fishscapes and alternative worldwide is again by Rutledge. And And as an administrator and a researcher, he is there in spite of all the other things. And I am deeply grateful to sir for coming here. And I would request you to say a few words.
So, good afternoon all. Yeah, all of you had your lunch? Yes, though Mumbai is into very hot weather these days. In the last 1.5 weeks, the temperature has gone up by 6 degrees. I work in climate change, so I start with temperature or the weather. Yeah, but thanks for being here. I was going through the schedule when Dr. Sai Gita forwarded it to me. Very interesting papers you have presented and very important debates you have participated in. So I appreciate you coming here, participating in it. And yesterday I was passing by and I saw the cultural activity happening. It was such a beautiful music and a lot of synergy in the dance movements, though it may not have been rehearsed fully, but still you all enjoyed being together, sitting in that evening space. I'm not sure how much the mosquitoes have tortured you, but there were no mosquitoes. It was seeking new other blood, so that is it. But I like the ambience in which you all work together. Now, when you look at the particular topic that you are all working, I was just wondering that youngsters like you, and for not only this country, for this world, you see what is happening to the world now. And we as youngsters, we as youth have a very important role to play in building a peaceful, sustainable world. And that is an important responsibility. It is a duty for all of us that this whole planet Earth doesn't get boiled, burned, suffered, yeah? But how do you do that? And I think that a very important aspect that comes is that, which I share to my students here, is that one is that it has to be value-based. Our life should be value-based. Our life should be value-driven. And we should aim towards value creation. Whichever field you are an entrepreneur, you are a doctor, you are an engineer, but is your everyday work, is it value-based? Is it based on some values of, say, peace, justice, sustainability, non-harm? Is it based on those values? Is it based on the values of respect, mutual respect, reciprocity? If you work with indigenous communities across the world, you will find that a common thing among their value systems is that one is they recognize that they are part of a bigger world. Yeah? So in between, my colleague went to a tribal community in Palghar, and village elder there told him, "Hum sab ek hai." Then he was asking, is this a political narrative something? Election aa raha hai, is it something like that? Then he said, no, it is not because of that. They said, when I say hum sab ek hai, that we are all one, it means this forest, this water, this earth, these plants, this wildlife, and us humans, we are all one. Now that is where value-based is coming. And that value-based, I think we have to nurture ourselves, and we have to nurture in the future generations to come to preserve this culture, preserve this earth. Value-driven. You are all going to be leaders. When you say youth voices in the digital age, then you are all going to be young leaders. That means you have to drive social innovations. You have to drive how this world is going to be shaped up. And in that sense, there has to be whatever you are aiming at, whatever you are ideating it, I think it has to be value-driven. And towards what? Towards creating more social values, more ecological values. So I believe that these 3 V's of value-based, value-driven, and value creation has to be part of our everyday being. That brings me to an Indian philosophy. I was going through your topic, and it is not an Indian philosophy alone. If you see most of the post-human philosophies, you will come across this, be it in Africa, be it in some of the indigenous communities across the world, and also in India. Our everyday existence, we see that it is part of knowing, doing, and being. We try to know our knowing, our doing, our being. Yeah. Now, when you talk about knowing, and let us connect it to media. Today, our knowing is what do you know and how do you know? So, are you all graduates from WhatsApp University? Yeah. Because most of us, what you know today is from reels. Yeah. How many of you, how many of us like to read books now? How many of us like to read Tingle, Chandamama, Amar Chitrakada and others? There are some who have raised the hand. But there was once upon a time in this country where village level libraries were considered as a very important movement. Every village having a library. Now every child having a mobile phone, state governments are saying now no social media for them. We are all reverting back. Give more books. But the thing is that what do you know and how do you know that what you know is true in today's world? And there again comes values, again comes responsibility, again comes accountability. So earlier I was saying the 3 R's. One is recognizing we are all one. Second is respecting whatever exists in this world, that they also have an equal space to survive, equal space to be there. And third is reciprocity. If I am taking something from nature, I have the reciprocity to give back. So these are the 3 indigenous philosophies. And here today we are talking about knowing. What do you know and how do you know it is true? And there comes the role of media. And I think it is your responsibility to shape up how news is, how information is, how knowledge is being created. The generations of, recently one in Doordarshan newsreader passed away. And if you read the obituary of hers, they will say that when news media was not like a warmongering machine, yeah, that is the time this particular person used to read news. And it was such a beautiful experience to listen to news those days. I do not know how many in your generation have listened to those kinds of news reading. But it was about knowledge creation. It creates curiosity in us. But today, our blood pressure goes high or low based on who is reading the news or who is manufacturing the news. Now comes the second part of it is doing. Knowing, doing. The question here is that since we know something, what can you do about it? As youngsters, as youth, as responsible citizens of this world, what can we do about things happening here? And how does not only, whatever you are going to do then, it is not only going to create a new world or shape a world, but it is also going to create your own self. It is also going to nurture your own self. Always the question comes when we get up in the morning and when we go to bed in the night. I believe that for most of us, at one point of time in our life, it will be, who am I? Yeah. Many of you, have you joined a new course or you are going to join a new program? In the coming year, many of you will be joining PG programs or UG programs, right? Yeah, many of them who are sitting here. And the very moment you choose that program and join that university and sit in that first class, that time seeing all your peers and classmates, you might ask this, where am I here? Why am I here? Is this the right choice that I have made? And behind all this question, it is, who am I? What is that I want to do with my life? And this is where the doing part of it comes. In India, we call it as karma. And Hollywood has taken this word karma and twisted it like anything. Yeah? But how does it add to your own self? That is an important part. And when I say about that, I believe creativity and creative writing and creative knowing has an important role, and that is where literature comes to play. So the knowing part is with the media. The doing part, I think, is with your own creative, boosting your own creative self, and I think literature plays a very important role here. And then comes being. Being is that there is a psychotherapist whose name is Viktor Frankl. Have you read Viktor Frankl's work called Man's Search for Meaning? Man's Search for Meaning. Man's Search for Meaning is a beautiful book, very simple and lucidly written. good book called Man's Search for Meaning. It is available in all the self-improvement books category. You should read that. In that book, so Viktor Frankl was a psychotherapist, and he was captured alive in the Second World War in the concentration camp. He was taken to the concentration camp by the Nazis. His wife was killed in the war, his children were killed in the war, and after all this trauma, he didn't have any hope to survive. He didn't want to exist. But then he was alive there, and he was standing along the queue where they were filtering each and every prisoner who has been captured. So after the line, one goes to the right and one goes to the left. So this person asked, Viktor Frankl asked the person who is standing in front of him, why is that the queue taking two lines? One is going to the left and one is going to the right. So they said that they will look whether you are capable of working, doing some work. If you are healthy, you will go to the right into the camp. And if you are unhealthy, you are of no use, then you will go into the chimney. You will be burned alive. So this was the thing that was shared. And he was having a cough and everything, and he thought that, okay, he will be sent to the chimney, and he was accepting that. But the person who was standing in front of him, because he was little bit elderly, not able to do physical labor, he was sent to the chimney. And this person being a doctor, and they needed doctors in the camp, so he was sent into the camp, and there he was alive again. Then he says that during as he was the superintendent of the camp medically, he used to go from one ward to another. And there he came across a very young girl, and who had this illness called typhus. So it seems that during those years, during World War, typhus was such an illness that if you get, then death is guaranteed. You will die within 2 to 3 weeks. There is no cure. And this woman knows that, okay, she is with typhus, and she was lying in the bed. But every time he goes to visit her, she is so cheerful. So he asked that, how you know that you are going to die, but how are you so cheerful? I have not come out of my trauma. How are you not being sad? How are you so happy? Then she says that, she points to the outside the window, and there is a branch of a chestnut tree that goes. And she says that during this moment in my life also, I have got a very good friend. So he'll think that this is because of the illness, she has got hallucination and everything, that is why she is saying all this. So he mockingly, with a little bit sarcasm, asks that, does that branch of the tree, does your friend talk to you? And she says, yes. She says, yes, and says, yes, my friend talks to me and says that I exist, we exist. Okay, we are eternal life. This is not mine. It is this applause is for Viktor Frankl and the girl who wrote that. So that is what. Do we have time to move out of our screens to look outside the window and have a branch of a tree as our friend? The birds moving around, to consider them as our coexisting beings, spend time with nature, talk to them, reciprocate to their feelings. Are we able to do that? Otherwise, we are missing something important in life, I believe. And that eternal life is something that is what is called as being. And I believe that we should give importance to not only knowing and doing, but also taking care of our own being. And there comes, how do you exist in a complex world? And in Africa, you know the Ubuntu philosophy, right? I exist because of you, and I exist in all of you. Yeah, now that philosophy is something very important. And then the understanding of law from a constitutional perspective, the understanding of law from indigenous community perspective, all these are important, cultural and constitutional. Both are important. And there comes, I believe that, I do not know how, when the organizing team developed such a theme, whether they looked into these interconnections, but the very first moment I saw this, how media, literature and law are coming together, it is exactly saying how knowing, doing and being. We are all bound by the law, but we are also the people who make the law. Yeah, and there comes values again. So this knowing, doing and being shapes our everyday, what we call as becoming. We are all evolving every day, every moment. You came 3 days before here, right? When you came 3 days before, who were you? And today when you are going from here, are you the same or are you changed little bit? Yeah? Sometimes that change will be very subtle, you do not realize it. But after 2 years, you will say that, yeah, I am changed. There is a change in me. Yeah? So that reflection takes time. So with that, I would end my speech here saying that it is time the world requires more and more compassion along with creativity and responsibility. And I think both compassion, creativity and responsibility to shape this world, that is in your hands. You are the torch bearers and you make the path by walking. So please walk and make the path so millions of others can follow you. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
A wonderful professor. It was a very nice tying up of not just the title, but the entire 3 days of debates and the experiences that we have had. Yes, you spoke about compassion, and that was also reiterated in some of the presentations, and values. And so, sir has reiterated some of the things, that emerged from papers, emerged from discussions. So, values, compassion, empathy is all we are talking about. We're not asking us, or we are not saying that we do away with the AI and the digital thing, but also not to forget that there is some other world also that exists, and we are also responsible and equally contribute or interact with the ecology which exists with us. So these are going to be there, and how do we balance this both things, online, offline, and be responsible in whatever we are consuming. So this is what is the message and key learnings for all of us. And I hope that we really kind of think when you are back there to your places, maybe after a year or so, look back what you have written, what you have learned, and what your friends had said, what your speakers had said, maybe some reflections on that. And what he is saying is true. Every minute we change. The moment we interact with somebody, there is some learning that comes out. Not just from interactions, but if you look around also, immediately something changes in you. And change is dynamic, and it is ought to happen. If there is no change, there is no learning, and there is no growth. So keep growing, keep learning, and we wish each one of you best of luck. But before we formally close, what we will do is, you have already done an online feedback giving procedure, but we would invite some of you to share what your experiences has been, and what is the change that you are seeing in yourself, or maybe what are your key takeaways or learnings from this 3 days. So can I request first our guest in India, Rebit sir, if you can please come on the stage and share your experience.
Thank you very much. For me personally, it was a very engaging, enriching journey in terms of deliberations that we make, in terms of the kind of discourse that the panels and the presenters make. So it was so full of energy. I could see in the youth the kind of ideas that they brought in. Maybe many of us didn't think from those perspectives. And in terms of their deliberations also, I could see that many of you could be the first-time presenters, first-time paper writers, but we couldn't really notice whether you were already doing the similar kind of works, or that you are a first-time writers, or first-time speakers in the academic conferences like this. So I think these kind of platforms provided a lot of ground for youth to voice up themselves, And in terms of the thematic area of digital technologies, in terms of expressing your voices through digital spaces, your recollections, memories, and also your ongoing works were so much lively presented that you took us to your personal workplaces, your reflections, your own experiences. That made us realize that we as educators, adults, need to really rethink how today's youth are working, how today's youth are living. And maybe as mentors, my personal learning and what is my plan when I go back to my university is to have a similar kind of seminar, workshop, webinar, allowing more youth, maybe even junior youth, to come to the stage, share their experiences, share their perspectives, which the policymakers normally do not think of. We sometimes think that we have also gone through the same process as youth, and we know what the youth think, but actually it's not the way. So I think we should bring in more youth voices into the policy-making discourses, and it is through different kind of fora like this that we can really collect your perspectives, your ideas, your input, and then co-design spaces for making the platform safer and making the use of the technology more responsible. At the same time, we have reiterated this idea of human value-centric way of integrating technologies into different sectors. So my message to the youth is to continue this collaboration. This could be one of the first steps for you to know each other. Continue this. For example, I myself and Dr. Saigita had met in this platform back in 2014. And then we have been working together so closely. And some other professors at TS and my team at Kathmandu University, they have been working together again. So that means a kind of not only personal connections, but also institutional connections is very much necessary. So that we can co-design programs like this, work together, spread these messages further. So for youth, my message would be, reflect upon your learnings, share it with your peer, and if possible, with your institutions. And at my university back, I will be holding a similar kind of seminar, but giving chances for even junior youth that I said, from school students, student leaders from schools. And then we will be listening to their voices, their ideas, and what kind of policies they think would be fit for them. Their ideas would also be addressed. So this kind of academic engagement would be very much necessary for us as adults to co-design programs, courses, and also addressing the youth ideas, their needs. At the same time, this also gives youth to put up their voices in terms of redesigning the educational or social ecosystem. So I think these kind of platforms are so much important for every one of us around here, that would give us a very powerful message that it is not I or somebody at the stage, preparing programs and giving it out to you. Let's come together, co-design our futures. Thank you so much.
Well said, sir. Can I invite any of you from NSS volunteers, anybody want to come and talk about your experience? Hindi, English, Marathi, sab chalega. This is an opportunity for you to talk. Anything that comes to your mind. आपने क्या सीखा है, आपको प्रोग्राम कैसे लगा, डिस्कशंस कैसे थे? Please come forward. However, briefly.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akshay Thakur, and it was a very learning experience for past 3 days. Got to know about so many things that have been went unheard for so many years. And I will especially like to mention few of the persons' names, and I'm very good in forgetting names, so I would like to see their name. Uh, Dr. Sonali Kusum ma'am mentioned some of the things that Dr. Sonali ma'am. The things you mentioned, especially all the laws and all those things. Being myself a political science professor, I teach computer exam students. So I really like to share the information you shared about those laws because specifically when I teach constitution, it's all articles and important laws. The laws you mentioned have been went untouched by me myself. So and since past many years, last years, UPSC and Maharashtra Public Service Commission has been also asking questions on some laws that have went unheard or untouched, some facts. So I would like to have that information from your side that will help my students. Thank you, thank you. And I would like to mention you, sir. I have forgotten your name. Okay. He was very clever yesterday in a presentation. Due to some technical delay, he was around there, but he actually hold its presentation. He really took it his own time and cleverness to hold that situation. So it was very great from your side. So a big round of applause for him because it was really good. I really like that. And one name I would like to, another name is Dr. Anju ma'am. She also gave some of the really nice information about that alcoholism, drugs and all. Because if you today see all these addictions have really destroyed so many individuals that I personally know. So we have been working with so many NGOs and organizations to take them out of that hell. And really it has destroyed on some such a drastic level, so that ma'am's information will also help us. And I will also like to thank from the individuals which I got to know about this program, and I would like to participate in future ones also. Thank you.
Thank you. You were very specific in what you had to say. Come.
जय हिंद एवरीवन। मैं ठाकुर राम नारायण कॉलेज ऑफ आर्ट्स एंड कॉमर्स से हूँ। जैसे TISS से मैंने बहुत कुछ न्यू चीज़ें सीखी। पहले फर्स्ट डे पे मैं सोचा था आओ, बहुत बोरिंग लग रहा था कि क्या होगा सेशन, क्या पकाएंगे, पता नहीं, ये नहीं वो नहीं। बट मुझे लिटरली बहुत पसंद आया सेशन। जैसे वो नेपाल से भैया आए, उनने जेनजी का बताया, जो मैंने बहुत चीज़ें नोट की है जो मुझे पता नहीं था, नई चीज़ें मालूम पड़ी मुझे। और जो दीदी इंडोनेशिया से आई है, मुझे उनके बारे में भी बहुत अच्छा लगा। उनने बहुत अच्छा एक्सप्लेन किया। लिटरली मैंने उनका हर एक पॉइंट, हर एक नोट्स मैंने मेंशन किया है मेरे इसमें। और मैं मैम को थैंक यू बोलना चाहूँगा कि उनने हमारे साथ बहुत अच्छे से कोऑर्डिनेट किया हमारे आने जाने के लिए और टाइमिंग के हिसाब से। और हमने बहुत नई चीज़ें सीखी। बट मैं सीरियसली बोलूँ ना, मैं AI और साइबर सिक्योरिटी में ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टेड हूँ और स्पोर्ट्स में मैं बहुत ज़्यादा आगे हूँ। इसके लिए मेरे लिए ये बहुत न्यू थिंग था, तो मुझे और सीखना है इसके बारे में। मैम अगर प्लीज़ आगे और सेशंस हो तो प्लीज़ हमें हमारे कॉलेज को इनवाइट कीजिए। और मैं थैंक यू बोलना चाहूँगा हमारे सर सुरेश सर को, जिसने हमें आगे भेजा और उनने हमें बताया कि ये चीज़ हमें जाना चाहिए, न्यू एडवेंचर है। ठीक है, थैंक यू।
Excellent. So I was thinking कि तुम लोग नोट्स लिख रहे हो या नहीं लिख रहे हो. I'm glad to hear कि आप लोगों ने भी नोट डाउन किए हैं. And you were very attentive. All of you were very attentive throughout the sessions. Thank you for that. Can I now invite Surchan for sharing his experience? Anyways.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon again. So it's post session again. Post lunch session again, sorry. So yeah, so share, like if I have to reflect about this 3 days, like it ended very fast. Like today is the last day itself. So like I made some very good friends and all of us, and we had a close bond, we laughed together. Yeah, it happened a lot. And also I thank Ma'am Saigita, Akshata, and the entire NSS and the My Bharat team like for this such a big event. And like I learned a lot from Thayam to altruism and like methodology and like lots of the things here. So it's been it will be one of my like a big moment, and this will be this is something that I will be I'll cherish forever in my memory. So yeah, as in the interest of time, I just like to keep it very short, and I believe that we should learn, observe, act, and we should stay grounded. So I wish you all the best, and take care of yourself and stay healthy. Thank you.
He always comes on stage and says something very powerful. Thank you, Surchan, for that. And the last person to come on the stage. But Baki logo ke liye bhi you have a feedback form and you can write as much as you want in that. Okay. Shrisha.
So, research is to see what others see, but to think what others don't think. Albert Gregory. Namaskar and a very warm, literally very, very warm good afternoon to all of you, especially our guests, our students, volunteers, researchers, our everybody. This has been a very wonderful, wonderful session. My name is Shrisha Bista, an MPhil scholar from Kathmandu University, who until the very end of the paper that I wrote for this very seminar was not aware of how powerful the digital age now is, the power of the digital media in shaping our youth and thereby shaping our future. I would like to thank Kathmandu University as well as Professor Rebut sir for guiding me to this platform. And more importantly, I'd like to, and I am grateful to TISS as well as My Bharat for organizing this wonderful and a very, very timely seminar. This was a much, much needed discussion, and there was so much to learn from the very thought-provoking papers that were presented in the duration of the seminar. If I were to, water down and summarize everything that we learned in the past 3 days, I have come up with 3 very bullet points. The very first learning that I had was that youth are the future of this increasingly globalizing world. And number 2, the world is rapidly tilting towards artificial intelligence and digital spaces. So our youth are at the forefront of this rapidly growing digitalized transformation. And third, and the most important point, is that it is our moral and social responsibility to provide our youth with safe internet experience through responsible, compassionate, and I keep talking about compassionate because it is that important, aware and legal aid, and especially the legal bit that keeps getting left out, as ma'am rightfully mentioned. I was not aware that there were so many laws that could help us. I am going to go back and look reflectively look at your presentation again, as well as see learn the legal mandates that are available in our country as well. I mean, honestly, I had never really looked into that front before this seminar, so this is something I'll carry with myself even after this seminar. So I believe that we need to collectively realize that the internet is both risky and it is full of unprecedented opportunities. And this seminar has helped us explore those opportunities while keeping in heart the risks that are associated with it, and also the measures to take care of those risks and to take care of our youth who are just so vulnerable. I mean, I look at all of you and you look like babies. I mean, I'm not so old, but you look like babies. And it is our responsibility to look after all of you, and especially those who are outside of the institutional support, out of school children. That has been a subject for me for a really long time. So this seminar, I believe, came at a very timely manner, and I believe it will provide a very strong foundation to further research and conversations on this very complicated and intricate subject. Thank you to Saigita ma'am, to Akshata ma'am, to Radhika ma'am as well for a very wonderful, wonderful organization. Thanks all very much.
Thank you, Shrisha. So now we will do the certification giving, and to all the NSS and My Bharat volunteers, that we will surely give you all certificates, but it's just that we need to keep a proper record of your names and other things. So we are not giving you certificates today, but we will surely give it to you on some day, and that Akshata ma'am will coordinate with you. We are going to present the certificates to the researchers today. Yeah, and I would request sir to do the honors. You want Mr. Anubhav Mahanti. Okay. Anubhav is our student, School of Education. So we have made a nice cover also, so please keep that cover. Ms. Asha Puri Safranti from Indonesia. Congratulations. Come in the center. Congratulations. Thank you so much. What's the name? Ms. Shrisha Bista. Thank you. Ms. Shreya Shandilya. Congrats. They are from Jamia Millia. Miss Shruti. Kerala. MPhil. Congratulations, Shruti. Yeah. Miss Soma Mandal, IIT Delhi. She presented a wonderful paper. Congrats. Thank you. Miss Niharika. Congrats. Jamia Millia, both of them presented a wonderful paper. Padam Bahadur Saud. It's from Nepal. Thank you. Congratulations. Miss Anjana. Scholars from Punjab. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Congratulations. Jai Koche. Both of them presented paper together. It was on Thayyam. Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations. Jaydeep Fulkan. He's an officer from Assam. Child rights. Congratulations, Jaydeep.
Thank you.
Mr. Surchan. It's difficult to pronounce your name. Congratulations. Thank you. Bebhav Shrestha. from Nepal. And he is very young. Youngest. He missed his flight also. No, not this one. Padam missed, okay. Okay. Congratulations. Miss Anamta Juvaria. She's from Port Blair.
Port Blair.
Yes. Thank you. Go to Akshata, she will tell you something. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. I'll just give formal vote of thanks. Okay, so all the other volunteers, please don't get disheartened. We'll get back to you soon. So let me formally close the 3 days program, and let us hope to have a very good and pleasant beginning from tomorrow. So I'm formally proposing vote of thanks before you. So as we come to the close of the international seminar, please get settled. Keep your certificates inside. Keep it in the, packets. Yeah, thank you. So the international seminar on youth voices in the digital age, media, literature and law at the Crossroads of Transformation, hosted from 8th March to 10th March 2026. And it is my privilege to propose vote of thanks before you. So first and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the International Cooperation Division, Department of Youth Affairs, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India, for entrusting the Tata Institute of Social Sciences with the opportunity to host this important international seminar. Their support and collaboration made this academic exchange possible. I would like to especially thank Ms. Priyakshi, the person from the coordinator from the International Cooperation Division, who was constantly coordinating with me on their behalf. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Badrinarayan Tiwari, for nominating me as the nodal officer to represent this and coordinate this seminar in collaboration with Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. I think I forgot to introduce myself on the first day, and which I generally do. I forget to introduce my name. So my name is Gita, and I am from Center for Lifelong Learning, a small yet unique department in the School of Social Work at the Institute. And I am here for past 2 decades, more than 2 decades. And I was part of Training, Orientation and Research Center, which was a small department of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, hosted in TISS, located in TISS since 1936. So from the time TISS came into existence, that department of the ministry was here, and 3 of us as faculty members were part of that department. My sincere thanks also to Mr. Narendra Mishra, officiating registrar TIS, for providing all the administrative support required to successfully organize this event. I would like to convey a deep appreciation to Dr. Virendra Mishra, IPS Director, MHA, for gracing the occasion. We are grateful to him also for chairing an important plenary session during the seminar. His vast experience in governance and public administration, along with his thoughtful reflections on emerging challenges in digital area, really enriched our discussions. His insightful observations and rich deliberations helped all of us to understand the complexities surrounding youth voices, digital safety and responsible engagement in the rapidly evolving digital landscape. My heartfelt thanks to Dr. Shiva from the University of Penn, US, who has been present with us, who was with us throughout the 3 days, sharing his expertise, engaging in rich discussions, and contributing immensely to the seminar as the guest of honor. I would next like to thank Professor Bipin Jojo, Dean School of Social Work, TISS, for being with us on the inaugural day and for sharing thoughtful reflections during that time. I would also like to sincerely thank all our distinguished speakers, Dr. Rebat Kumar Dhakal, Dr. Anusha Ramanathan, Dr. Josephine Anthony, Dr. Sonali Kusum, Ms. Ritika Kunna, Dr. Tripti Zaveri Panchal, Mr. Pratik Bhavi, Dr. Rupa Munakarmi, Dr. Madhurima Das Gupta, and Dr. Anju Sebastian. Did I miss anyone? For their insightful deliberations across the various themes of the seminar. Your contributions have generated meaningful reflections and enriched understanding of youth, digital culture, and social transformations. My sincere appreciation goes to all the researchers, national and international, who presented their papers and brought an excellent wealth of ideas and perspectives to this platform. Your work has truly added depth and provided much food of thought for each one of us. A special thanks to Mr. Anup Ingle, District Youth Coordinator, NYKS Mumbai, for coordinating and mobilizing all the NSS and My Bharat volunteers who participated in this seminar. I would also like to acknowledge my own team of volunteers, this team, my own students of the Diploma in Youth Leadership and Social Change, who have been there throughout, in spite of their other academic engagements and work. They were here full time to support and be with me. So I would like to mention their name: Akshata, Sai, Sridhar, Nisha, Sonam, Anuj, Sonali, Nimai, Ananya, Priyal, Rahul, and my doctoral student Radhika, who's here. Yeah. They have taken care of all the logistics and they ensured that the program goes smoothly. I also extend my thanks to colleagues at TIS, Mr. Shivakumar, Head of the Computer Division, Facility, Mr. Litesh from Facility Service Team, Mr. Shelar, Mansi, Ms. Mansi, Mr. Ritesh from our Secretarial Staff, Accounts and Admin Team. Finally, I thank all the other participants who are here and all people who have supported us in organizing this 3 days event from behind the scenes. And my sincere gratitude to each one of you for participating fully into the academic journey. Thank you so much. And with this, I may invite you to come to the test tree for a group photograph. And formally, I announce that we are closing today. Thank you.